Layla had not yet grown used to the city, its endless noise, its people who walked as if racing time, its tall buildings that strangled the sky. Everything felt worlds apart from the small village she came from. The only place where she found a sense of calm was the old bookstore she worked at, tucked into the corner of a nearly forgotten street. It was a bookstore that felt like a story itself, smelling of wood and old paper, its shelves like tiny homes for things long forgotten. One seemingly ordinary morning, Layla found a strange book left at the bookstore door. A dark cover, no title, no author. She opened the first page and saw only one sentence. This is your story, even if you don't realize it yet. Her hands trembled. She didn't understand what it meant, but she felt deeply that this book was anything but ordinary. That same day, a tall, calm young man walked in. His name was Acer. The moment he saw the book, he looked at her with a mysterious smile and asked, "Did you hear it calling you?" She froze. How did he know? He explained quietly that he had found a similar book 5 years ago, and it had changed his life. Before she could ask anything, he left. That evening, she found inside the book an old photograph of a woman who looked eerily like her, standing in front of a bookstore identical to the one she worked in. The date on the back was from 50 years ago. Sleep evaded her that night. The next day, she confronted Acer with the photograph. He told her the woman was the bookstore's owner and that she had disappeared after reading her own book. From that day on, the book began writing new lines by itself. Whenever Layla opened it, a new sentence appeared. Between your fear and your courage is one step. Do not run from the truth. What you're searching for is closer than you think. One day, the page was blank except for a single word, Acer. Acer vanished that very night. Layla felt the book pushing her towards something. She returned early to the bookstore and noticed a strange scratch on the back door. When she touched it, the wood quivered, alive. Inside, she heard a sound behind an old shelf. She placed the book atop it, and the shelf slowly shifted open, revealing a narrow, dark passage. She stepped inside. It felt like walking into a secret the walls had guarded for decades. She reached a small room with a closed black box. Before she could touch it, Acer emerged from the shadows. "You shouldn't have come," he warned. "Everyone who enters never returns the same." When she asked about the box, he said it was the key to the ending. Ending? Ending of what? He didn't answer. Something weighed heavily behind his eyes. Before he could explain, the passage trembled violently. An invisible wall fell between them, swallowing Acer into darkness and pushing Layla toward the box. Suddenly, she found herself inside a vast white room, doorless, windowless. At her feet lay a new book, white-covered, titled Layla's Story. On its last page was a single line. "The end begins when you finally know the truth." A thin crack of light opened in the wall, and she heard Acer calling her. She ran toward the light, finding a corridor with Acer standing at its end. He looked exhausted but smiling. He told her this place wasn't a real world, but a point of choice, one reached by everyone who reads the book. The box had opened for her because she didn't run. When she asked why his name appeared in the final pages of her book, he said with a soft, hurting honesty, "Because I wrote your name. My book told me I would meet the one who changes my story. And when I saw you, I knew." Then he gave her two choices. If she left alone, her life would return to normal. She would forget everything, but he wouldn't leave with her. If they left together, her story would change forever, and nothing would ever be the same. Layla lifted the white book and said firmly, "My story isn't written yet, but I don't want a book that doesn't have you in it." He held out his hand, she held out hers, and when their hands touched, light burst around them. Layla opened her eyes in front of the bookstore. The sun was high. Everything looked normal, except she wasn't alone. Acer stood behind her, touching her shoulder gently, saying with a calm smile, "Ready to write the story?" She looked at him with eyes full of certainty and replied, "This time, I'm the one writing it." They walked into the bookstore together. On the shelf, a new book had appeared, just formed. Its title was simple: The Beginning. And the door closed slowly behind them, as if the place itself finally acknowledged that the real story had only just begun.